it just started from the point that we needed a stadium which befitted the stature of Manchester United. And Manchester United, I mean, obviously there's a degree of bias because I was brought up in Manchester. I've always been a fan of Manchester United, but I think it is the greatest football club in the world. It's certainly the most well-known football club in the world, and it needs a stadium of that stature, I think. It's more challenging, obviously, to build a stadium of 100,000, but I think the UK needs a stadium of that sort of presence, and the north of England, I think, is the best place to build it. And I just think it will become recognised throughout the world. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that will also help Manchester United, obviously. In my view, it is the world's favourite club. It is the world's biggest club. And I think, because this is bias, I think it's the world's best club. It's obviously had a difficult period for the last 12 years, but it deserves to have the finest stadium in the world, in my view. And that is very much my objective in building a new stadium, that it's the most iconic, it's the biggest, it's the most iconic, it's the most recognisable stadium in the world. I think that will hugely benefit Manchester United, but it will also hugely benefit that region, which obviously I'm very close to. It is where the world discovered manufacturing. The Industrial Revolution started in southern Manchester. Old Trafford is where... I mean, the reason Old Trafford is built where it is because the workers could walk to the ground. There was no public transport 150 years ago. So historically, it's a very significant part of the world. It is run down today. So I think it's a hugely important regeneration scheme.
Where are we with Frankie de Jong?
This is the saga of the summer now as far as Manchester United are concerned. There is still a feeling, though, that a deal can be done for Frankie de Jong, the Barcelona midfielder. And for all the public utterances of the Barcelona president, Joan Laporta, and the manager, Xavi, Manchester United remain comfortable in their position. They have a broad agreement, they feel, with Barcelona worth £72 million, including add-ons. Now, I mentioned those public utterances. Joan Laporta, the president, said this over the weekend: Frankie de Jong is our player. We received some offers, but we don't accept as of now. We want to talk to him and clarify some areas of his situation. Then Xavi left him on the bench in the El Clasico game out in the States and brought him on in the second half as a central defender. And he was asked the question, are you trying to send a message to Frankie de Jong? And Xavi said this: I don't send messages. I like him a lot. He can bring us a lot at centre-back. There is, though, also the economic situation and fair play. So let's have a look at those two situations first of all. The economic situation with regard to Frankie de Jong all dates back to the pandemic, when he and a lot of the Barcelona squad took pay cuts. And so their wages were deferred. And it's thought that Frankie de Jong is now owed between 14 and 17 million pounds. Are Barcelona playing a game here? Are they trying to make it out that they want to keep Frankie de Jong so that Manchester United may change their offer to somewhat offset some of the wages that they owe Frankie de Jong? Because whether Frankie de Jong stays at Barcelona or leaves Barcelona, he is due this money regardless. The other issue is the centre-back situation. So Manchester United want to bring him in as a central midfielder. He's been playing throughout his career as a central midfielder, and then Xavi decides to bring him on as a centre-back and says he can bring a lot in that position. And it's since emerged that Barcelona are rivaling Chelsea to try and sign Sevilla's Jules Koundé. So even though they're saying all the right things with regard to Frankie de Jong, we want him to stay, he's a key player for us, everything that they're doing seems to be the opposite and seems to be a way of trying to force Frankie de Jong out of Barcelona. But Frankie de Jong is stuck in the middle here because he doesn't want to move until he has these deferred wages issues sorted out, because he's owed this money. Now, as you mentioned at the top of the show, August the 1st is around the corner. We'll be a month away soon from the end of this transfer window. Manchester United, make no mistake about it, their priority is central midfield, and their number one priority has been Frankie de Jong. But even though that is the case, they will, I'm sure, privately have their own deadline, because they can't let this drag on until deadline day. And if come deadline day, de Jong ends up staying at Barcelona, they won't have filled the priority position. So I'm sure that they will have other targets. But for now, they are continuing to pursue Frankie de Jong, and the feeling is all of the obstacles stopping any kind of move happening is coming from the Barcelona end, not the Manchester United end.
As you said there, they will have other targets, maybe backup just in case they don't get him in other areas as well, you'd have to think.
Yeah, from the outset of this transfer window, we were told that two of the biggest priorities were central midfield and the forward line. Now, they've actually made signings, but Christian Eriksen, you could argue, yes, in midfield, but they wanted to bring another holding midfielder in and someone across the forward line. The name Antony keeps coming up. The Ajax forward is a player of interest. Now, initial talks between Manchester United and Ajax highlighted quite a big gap in the valuation between what Manchester United will be prepared to pay and what Ajax would want for Antony. So it's not been ruled out as far as Manchester United are concerned. He is a player that they are remaining interested in, but until that valuation is compromised, it's going to be a difficult deal to do. And it should also be noted here, United are not looking for a replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo. They just want to strengthen the forward line, simply because their stance with Cristiano Ronaldo is not changed. It remains the same. Cristiano Ronaldo is not for sale. He's got a year remaining on his contract, and Manchester United have the option for a further 12 months.